Hey guys, good morning everybody. Today is Thursday, May 15th. It is 6:26 right now. We got market opening up in about 4 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. It's got a few things here to update and we should be good to go. All right, looks good. This link sent out to you guys here in the premium. And the link is sent out. Good. So as people join in, I'm going to go ahead and start marking up liquidity over here. ATR is currently at 12 right now. So down to the 4 hour. Hour. 30 minute. 15 minute. 10 minute. And back down to the 1 minute here. So, all right, guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Thursday, May 15th. It is 6:29 right now. We have market opening up in about 30 seconds. Breakout for today is going to be a buy if anybody's looking to take that. Uh, all right, so we got market opening up in a few moments. Liquidity right here just got knocked out. I'm trying to see if there's a range here that I can kind of, identify. I'll just mark up a couple areas here that, could be possible ranges. Um, I don't think the range here is as prevalent as yesterday because Powell did speak this morning. There's a lot of high impact news events with PPI. All right, I'm just going to mark this range here so we have an idea. Breakout is now currently running in profit. I think it already hit CP right there. So like I said this morning, breakout for today is a buy. And it just hit full TP. So today the breakout's hit, or this week, the breakout has hit every single day, Monday through Thursday. So 4 days back to back wins for the breakout here. And Steven, I swear it's like the one time you stop taking the breakout, it goes on this crazy win streak. Yeah. And Steven said, and of course it hits full TP. Why is the market doing this? I don't know, Steven. This is why I always tell people, like, if there's a strategy that you guys want to stick to, you should just stick to it because there's going to be good times and there's going to be bad times. The breakout is hit every single day this week. So it's on a 4 win streak right now. Um, at this point, I don't think you should go back to it, Steven, because it's not going to last forever. So Steven says he's going to call. He's gonna call the breakout later today in the market. He's gonna add me to the conference call. Yeah. We're gonna have to get to the bottom of this, Steven. It's crazy, right? The breakout was like kind of wishy-washy for the past couple weeks, and then all of a sudden it hits every single day. Anyways, let's go back to our normal analysis here. So we do have we don't really have anything here. I'll just make it a little bit shorter because we had that big candle right there on open. Yeah, so the ATR is currently around like 28-ish, around there. And see what else we got. All right, some markup. I'm gonna take off this liquidity. It looks like price is ranging between this upper liquidity and this lower liquidity right here. That's pretty much the range, the same range I drew up a little while ago, right here. So we're still sort of in this ranging market. We don't have any entries here at the moment. It's fine. There's no need to force anything here, of course. So we got this kind of just back and forth range. If we have anything here. So let's take a look at the overall direction of price. The 4 hour is currently bullish, 1 hour is bearish, 30 minutes bearish, 10 minutes bearish, 5 minutes bearish, and the 1 minute is bearish. So across the board, we sort of have a bearish overall bias. Again, we'd like to be outside of this range. So we don't really want to trade within this range here. If we have the opportunity, we'll look for price to get out of this range and we'll try to, look for opportunities outside this area. Looking over here at the market profile, so price is ranging directly between both areas. So looking at this here, the yeah, so the range looks like it might be around, push this up a little higher. Okay. So it looks like this here is the current range. I'll just leave it where I had it earlier. But yeah, the range here that I have drawn up on my regular chart lines up with the market profile. We have the value low down here, value high right here, point of control down the middle. Price is completely in this range. Like I said, guys, this is just the type of market that we're currently in. There's nothing that we can really do about it. But this is pretty much where we're at. Looking over here at the 30-minute market profile, it's a little more prevalent here. So you can see here, it's even more obvious. This range has been here since yesterday, it looks like. Yeah. I mean, price pushes out of it sometimes, but not really. It just stays out of it. Um, Price bounce off that 925 price point. So the 925 would have been like right here. This would be the bounce point from there. Next bounce point would be over here. At 4,200, it looks like. One hour time frame, same thing. market profile or volume profile. So you can see over here, it's pretty obvious the range, right? The volume profile has a very similar range. Market profile, the range is a little bit wider. And for our normal chart here, the range is even wider. So this range here this is the range. It's just slightly off a little bit depending on like where, you know, the pricing is. Give me 1 second, guys. My neighbor has a fucking bird feeder like out my window, and I could just hear birds chirping. I don't know if you guys can hear the birds chirping, but it's annoying me. So let me close the window. All right. Let's see. Shivam has an issue with data. So you've always had to pay for the data. It's always been you can it doesn't matter if you're in a premium plan or whatever. The yeah, Christian said even Kodi is annoyed. Let the trade manager work freaking birds. Um, yeah, Cody's here today. You can see on his office chair. So hopefully the market's going to be a little better. But yeah, Shivam, you have to buy the data. The data is not included. Um, if you don't want to pay for the data, you have to log into your Apex account. So if you log into your Tradeovate below, and then you can use the Apex data. Otherwise, like if you're trading like me and you have multiple charts, you have to pay for the data because you can only have it on one chart, like whatever your thing's logged in on. Nick said just hit the trash button on my ATR indicator. What's it called? It's called the trailing stop. So K2 trailing stop, Nick. Yeah, were you logged into your Apex account on your Tradeovate, Siobhan? Because you were probably using the Apex data. Otherwise, I mean, it's always going to be that way. You'd have to pay for it. There's no, I mean, it's been, I had to pay for it since for like years now. Yeah, I don't know. It looks like you just, for some reason, you had access to it, but I've always had to pay for it. So I've been paying for the data for a couple of years now. Because if you ever log on without it, this will be yellow and it'll say you need the market data. Or maybe it's different for the UK. I know for the US it's you have to pay for it, but maybe in the UK it's different. So maybe they've changed the rules out there. But here in the US, we've always had to pay for it. So I mean it sucks, but like I'm paying for data on like three different things. So I'm paying for data on TradingView. I'm also paying for data on my Ninja Trader. It's it's a hassle. Yeah. Yeah, I know. If you found a workaround, let me know. But yeah, I've always had to pay for it. So I've been paying I mean it's not a lot, but it's still, it's something. I think I pay like $6 a month for the data on TradingView. But I have to pay for data on this and I have to pay another $30 data for Ninja Trader and I got to pay data for everything. Basically every platform that I have open I have to pay data for, which obviously you can tell is super annoying. Like per laptop I got to pay data per screen. Oh yeah, let me check the news real quick. Thanks guys for reminding me. Yeah, exactly, Siobhan. It's kind of dumb because like it doesn't I'm like, why can't I just use the data across the board if I'm paying for all this different data? But anyways, let's check the news. So Powell spoke for today. I'll open this up a little bit. The news for today was earlier this morning at 6:15. So we had or 5:30. We had PPI news, which is producer price index. That's inflation news. It's this big spike that happened right here. So we had news right there. We had news at 6:15 right here as well. Industrial production month over month. And then we have business inventories at 7 o'clock. Gas stock change at 7:30. And I got a markup opening price over here as well, which is this big green candle. I'm honestly kind of surprised that the breakout's been hitting every day this week. The breakout from from our data is like a net one, net two type strategy where it usually nets 1 or 2 wins per month overall. Um, this month it's been hitting, so I mean, I guess at the end of the month it's gonna net around. So like, we've talked about the breakout before. If you have like some sort of win streak on the breakout, like you have more than 2 wins, it's probably a good time to just stop trading it and just collect your wins and then wait until the following month. That's what I used to do before because it usually nets around like 1 or 2 wins. So maybe that's just the week for the breakout. But back to like that idea. If you find a strategy that you like, just stick to it. Like for me, I like the MPSV2, so I'm sticking to that. There just hasn't been very many opportunities here. We have price pushing into the upper range right here. The upper range is 42 up there. So what we might be able to see is, some sort of possibly liquidity sweep up here and then reversal back into the range. So you guys can see our price is still respecting the ranges. So I'll just adjust this a little bit, adjust this a little bit. All right. So those are the areas of liquidity. Hey, what's up, William? William said, "Hey, Sean, just got approved for a 32K payout with 16 accounts. It's all about discipline. I know you remember me blowing every account. Thank you." Yeah, no, definitely, William. Congrats to you, babe. That's a huge accomplishment. So, some of you might know William, but William's been in our group for you've been around for a while, William. I think since COVID. So from like the very beginning, basically. William has, he's a prime example of someone who doesn't follow directions or rules. But William would message me in DMs like pretty much, I think you'd message me like every week, like tell me how well you did, and then the next week you'd blow the accounts. But William's come a long way. So congrats to you, William. He said yeah, FTMO days. So William has been struggling for years, like years, like it's been long with his trade psychology, but every time William asks me like what he can do differently, I always tell him to just scroll up and look at what we talked about last time. Because I tell William the same thing, and it's discipline, follow your trading plan, and just continue what you've been doing. So he just got a 32K payout. So that's huge. So keep it up, William. I mean, that's the key thing, right? The impossible isn't necessarily impossible if you could continue with the consistency. Yeah, Solange said congrats, William. Can't cheat this game. Nikki said congrats too. And Steven as well. Yeah, you probably don't see Steven on the live, or you don't see William on the live as much, but Steven's there in the background. Or not Steven, sorry, William. William is in the background. So that's good to hear, bro. Now you just gotta keep it up. Now you gotta keep getting those 32K payouts on a monthly basis. Um, yeah. I mean, it really just goes back to following your trading plan. All right, there's no entries here. I'm still looking for my MPS V2. In order for me to get an MPS V2 entry, guys, I need to get a sell. Tell on you said, Steven, open your ears. Yeah. Steven's got it. Steven's gonna be next up in line. I mean, you've been doing pretty good too, Steven. I think so. Steven's been trading in the he's been trading in the Asia session, the gold, and he's been pretty much hitting it lately. I mean, you've been listening too, Steven, actually. Surprisingly, you've been listening, Steven. I'm kind of shocked you're listening as well. Um, you've been pretty much on a win streak trading gold in the Asia session. So, I mean, you just got to keep it up too, Steven. Every day, Steven messages me his charts, and they're getting better. So it's starting to seem like you're actually understanding what you're doing now, which is solid. So we got some profits here from David. David took the breakout this morning. He locked in 630. So nice work, David, on catching that breakout this morning. So price pushed up right here. Looks like it came up, rejected off this upper range, and it's pulling back into the main range down here. So we're still getting this back and forth consolidation, guys. Price here pretty much faked out outside the value high. And then it pulled back into the range here, and it retested the point of control. So you guys can see right here again on the market profile, there's like literally nothing going on, guys. So don't feel the urge or the need to really force anything here, because if you look closely, I mean, there's nothing that's really happening here. If you look here on the 30 minutes, the same thing. Price is just ranging between this area right here as well. Same with the 1 hour right here. So you can see it doesn't matter what time frame you're trading on. If you're trading on the 1 minute, you can see the range right here. It's trading on the 30 minute, you see the range right there. 1 hour, the range right there. Price is ranging no matter the time frame. There's just not very much direction here. The ATR is currently at 29 right now. I'm going to put my ATR back to, oh, it's already at 14. So the ATR is currently at 30. We have possible opportunity here for MPS V2 for a sell. The only problem is we got all these red flags right here, right? We have the news price, and then we have the opening price down here. All right, so we got the sell signal, price is pushing down, possible retracement, continuation to the downside. That'll be a MPS V2 for a sell. Looking over here at the confluences, we do have confluences on the 30-minute rejection off the value high, 1 hour confluence rejection off the value high, point of control, or sorry, volume profile, no confluence there. Clean chart, we don't have any confluences here. And support resistance, let's see. Draw some new zones around this area if possible. All right, so looking at this right here, we have a couple confluences, but they're not really too many. We have a confluence right here on the support resistance. Obviously, it's breaking, retesting down to the downside here. It's pushing off the support turn resistance, and then we have confluences here on the 1 hour time frame, rejection off the value high. It's also rejecting off the bottom end, so it doesn't really make a big difference. 30-minute time frame over here also rejecting off the value high and the point of control, and the 1 minute over here price is there's no confluences, but if price does stay below, it will be bouncing, basically break and retest off the point of control right there to the lower range. So if anybody's looking to take this, I think it's going to be a little tricky because there's going to be a lot of red flags here you got to push through. You got to push through the news price, and you got to push through the opening price. I think opening price is going to be one of the harder things to get past. News price, probably not so much because price has already tested the news so much. You can see over here, the news was at 530, price kind of bounced around. Same with the 615 news, price just kind of went back and through it. The only thing here that would be a problem is the opening price. So if you guys are looking to take this, let's see. I'm gonna look at the price action. I'm not really looking to take it yet, but I'm gonna look at the price action and see how the candle here closes. Not this specific one because there's no entry on this candle. We do have the sell signal. The retracement will be this green candle right here. So once we have that retracement, I'll look at the price action on the following red candle, and I'll see if there's opportunity right there. Right here, there's just not any opportunity because there's no setup yet. But what I'd like to see here is probably a stronger green candle push up a little bit and then a continuation down lower. Typically, I would avoid the news price, but you can see here, like I said, the news price here isn't as strong as it would be if it hasn't been tested already. It's been tested multiple times already throughout the session. Okay, so this is going to be a problem. I'm not going to take this one, guys. The issue is that we're going to be right at the opening price. If you guys want to take this, I'm going to keep watching the price action. Kind of just tell you guys how I feel once I see this candle here close. I mean, the candle might not even close red. We'll see how it closes right here. We're at 30 seconds. I'm going to keep watching here as we get closer to the close of the candle. I think that's going to be key. So depending on how big this wick is, if this ends up pulling all the way back up, it's probably not going to be a strong entry. And that's exactly what's happening here. See how it kind of just winds back up? It grabs liquidity and then it winds all the way back up. It's like a liquidity sweep. It's not a good setup. And this candle didn't even close red. So no entry there. This is what I mean about watching the price action, guys, because you can see right there, this candle was red. It was a huge red candle, then it came right back up. There's no setup there. There may be another opportunity on this candle right here. Again, if you guys want to take it, feel free to take it. I'll mark it up for you guys. I'll keep watching it. We'll look at the price action on this candle. Again, this is a big red candle. I wouldn't be surprised if it swings all the way back up like it did right here. Yeah, Talanji said sometimes he goes on the 32nd to make sure the candle prints as well. That's also a good idea. There's one guy in the group who actually trades on the 32nd. I don't know how he does it. He goes even lower to like the 10 second sometimes to really, really watch that price action. I think it's a little too fast for me, but it's a good confluence that you can look at, especially if you're trying to make sure this 1 minute candle is going to close. So again, no red candle there. So there's no entry there for MPSV2. This is the market we're kind of stuck in right now, guys. There's no need to really adapt to this market because this just might be how it is this week. Next week could be a lot better, right? I'm only in at one loss this week, so I'm not really suffering too much from this trading week. I'm actually conserving a lot of capital for a better week. Because who knows, next week might just be straight win streaks. It's just the choppiness of the market here kind of throws us off. And it doesn't really even matter which direction you're trading. And you can trade, to the upside, to the downside. Doesn't really matter. So I think Trump has just arrived in Abu Dhabi. Check. This is live right now. Yeah, he's not speaking right now. I just saw the breaking news, but figured I might as well check that out. All right, so we still don't have a red candle, guys. This candle here might be the one. So we got about 40 seconds left on this candle. If you guys are looking to take MPSV2 again, I'm going to look at the price action here. I'm not really going to look to take it. I mean, the price action here does not look good. You guys can see the choppiness back and forth, back and forth. It looks like it wouldn't even matter which direction you're trading. And if you took sells here, you could have gotten wiped out for this push to the upside. If you took buys here, you could get wiped out if price pushes back to the downside. So we'll see. Again, I don't like this price action here. You guys can see huge wicks on both sides. Not a good time to take entry. And no red candle there, so no entry for MPSV2. You have a pending buy signal here now. Yeah, Shivam said not liking the wicks. Talon just said don't like the wicks. Yeah, I mean, either way, still no entry, right? A lot of big wicks on both ends. So like here, it's you could get stopped out either direction. Doesn't matter if you're taking a buy. Like this could be another fake out. Price could be pushing up and then it just could possibly wick right back down. Shabam said personally want a breakout with MPS on either side on my 15-minute orb. So 41.91, 41.911 for sells and 42.30 for buys. Yeah, I could see that. So basically at this liquidity area or this lower liquidity area. I agree with that. All right, so there's no sells here, guys. Buy signal came up, red candle never came through. It's just a classic range. We've been dealing with this all week. There's nothing new here. This is the market that we've been in. I mean, it looks like a summer market, guys. If you guys have traded summer markets, I've talked about this in the past. This is kind of how it looks like, in a sense. Dang, I just got this new video that you might like, Christian. Let me see if I can open. I'm surprised that this is still running. This video just came up on my videos I might like. It was just uploaded 2 days ago, Christian. It's by Spencer Cornelia, exposing iMarkets Live, the $1.2 billion pyramid scheme. I don't know if any of you guys have fell for IML back in the day. Like during COVID, IML was like rampant. It was crazy. Everybody was on IML. Um, I mean, it's nuts. And it's I'm surprised they're still going around. I feel like they would have been sued by, or I'm pretty sure they've been sued multiple times, and they just keep coming back as with a new name. Yeah, Steven said wealth generators is similar. Yeah, it's crazy. A lot of those pyramid schemes is trading pyramid schemes where you just kind of recruit people. All right, there's an MPSV2 that's setting up right here, guys. It's going to be right at the session. So we have a buy signal, retracement, confirmation on this possible candle right here. If this candle closes above this black line, it'll be entry for MPSV2. The only problem again right here, guys, it's right at the red flag, which is the sessions. So if you guys want to take this, I'll mark it up for you. If Samir, if you're on here, I'm telling you not to take this trade because what we had to deal with yesterday, I mean, bro, you took all the trades that I literally said not to. So today I'm giving you like a direct confirmation not to take this trade if you're looking to take it. If you guys want to take it and you feel like, this looks like a good entry, feel free to take it. But it's literally at the sessions right there, guys. So it's not what I consider a good setup here. Let's see, Brock said definitely taking it if it closes above the sessions. I mean, it technically did close above the sessions right there. It gapped above. You want to take it, Brock. This is also news. So we have news right now at 7 o'clock. I'm gonna watch this later. It's always interesting videos by him. So 7 o'clock over here, we have business inventories. And it hit full TP right there. I mean, this push up could have been directly based off the news right here. The news was at 7 o'clock. It was positive. Medium impact. It was mixed. So we had business inventories month over month, which was positive. We have NAHB housing market index, which was negative. So mixed news at 7 o'clock. But there you go for the MPSV2 if anybody caught that trade there. Nice. So Sam got that trade as well. And Barack got it as well. Yeah, Daniel says, well, he said he was waiting on that break too for the sessions. Too slow to see the gap though. Yeah, if I was kind of looking at that as well, guys. If this would have set up here and it would have closed above it, I would have been kind of okay taking it. But just like what Daniel said, this thing gapped up. It closed below it, but it opened above it. And there we go. As price pushes up higher. So that liquidity is done with. This liquidity is done with. We'll see if it goes over here for a liquidity sweep off this area. Let me see. I don't think this is going to be a liquidity sweep because price is so far from the value high, unless there's another level up here. No, there isn't. Yeah, so there's no other structure up there. I mean, aside from the whole number. So I don't think this is going to be a sweep. This might be a break and retest. We had medium impact news right here. Yeah, so Shibam broke his 15-minute orb. Now he's just looking for that sell to buy signal. All right, we'll see. It looks like a break and retest off this liquidity level right there. About 6 seconds left. Golden candle right here. This could be a possible A++ setup right here as well. So this could be a possible A++ if it closes engulfing, guys. A little tricky. It's a little tricky because the price action here. So this candle would for sure have to close above it for it to be that A++ setup. But you can see here it kind of bounces back and forth. I don't like the blocky movements where it's kind of going back and forth like that. So this here is an A++. I'm not taking it. I'm just following it here to see. I was a little tempted to take it, but now that I'm looking at it here, it's actually not an A++ setup because of there was no engulfing or V1s down below. So this is like basically the second leg. Usually for the A++, we're going for the third leg of the movement. So we had the MPS V2 right here. This is basically where the buyers came into control from this lower area. So the buyers came into control from right here, but we needed a third leg. So if we get another if we get another engulfing or V1 variation, then that would be the A++ setup. I mean, this is a lead up to it. It's basically the second leg. We had price push up, retrace. That's the first leg. Price retrace, engulfing. This is the second leg. And the A++ would be the third leg. So we have this right here, first leg, second leg. And if another V1 comes up somewhere, that'd be the third leg right there. So this here isn't exactly an A++ setup. It's a lead up to the A++, but it's not an actual A++ setup yet. Because we need 3 of them right here. Unless this MPS V2 had a V1 or engulfing down here, then it would have worked out, but it's not necessarily a setup. So I'll look for the next one. If we get an A++ that comes up, I'll possibly get into that. I'll look at the price action, but we don't really have anything here right now at the moment. This would just be considered a second leg. Yeah, Sam said 2 wins for today, skipped a break and retest. Whole week was hovering around break even. Yeah, that's usually how it is during a choppy market, right? During a choppy ranging market, I think we hover around break even. I think I'm break even for the month so far, so I'm kind of in the same boat. Not for the week, but for the month. Currently at one loss for the week so far, so it's not what I would consider horrible. That's why I'm being a little cautious about my entries this week because we've been stuck in this consolidation range for, I mean, pretty much every day this week, Monday up until today, and even last week. So, it's just kind of what we deal with, guys. It's kind of how we deal with and what you can do to prevent, the inevitable, which is crazy market conditions. So we still got that break and retest kind of pushing right there. All right, let's see. So we got a pending sell signal here. Okay, this is gonna be solid. If we get the sell signal here, we have a possible push to the upside. Let's take a look at the overall trend right now. So the buys are actually looking good here. The 4 hour is bullish. The 30-minute is switching to bullish. 1 hour switching to bullish. Lower time frames here are also bullish. We have the 10-minute bullish, 5-minute bullish, 1 minute also bullish. So with that said, I mean, it's a little bit of a mix here on the higher time frames. 30-minute here is still bearish, but it's trying to shift to the upside. Same with the 1 hour over here, it's still bearish. The 4 hour is still bullish. So, I mean, trades can really go in either direction. Right now, there's just nothing for us to take here at the moment. The volatility kind of slowed down a little bit. We have a pending invalid sell signal. Ideally, I'd like this to close invalid. I think that'd be a better, it'd be better in a situation where we have that invalid and price ends up swinging back up for a buy signal. So gotta wait for it. Sell signal still hasn't came up. All right, we have another pending sell signal here. And this week is like it's really different compared to what we're used to with the volatile moves. So, like I mentioned yesterday, guys, I'm expecting a trending market to happen soon. So I think the best thing that you guys can do right now, and the best thing I'm doing right now is really just conserving capital. I took one loss on Monday, but that's about it for this week. Um, yeah, I think we're going to go back into a trending market pretty soon. The reason why I'm saying that is because we have so much news that's happening, right? We have Trump traveling all throughout the Saudi Arabia. We have the trade deals happening with UK, with China. With those deals coming into play, these tariffs are probably going to get knocked off. So the crazy thing is like all this stuff is happening, but there's no direction in the market, right? We're having all this news that happened since Sunday. And you can see over here, like there hasn't really been too much movement. There's been like a big consolidation range. Price came down a little bit, and then I'm expecting a directional push as price continues to move forward. So let me look over here on the higher time frames, 4 hour. See the daily. Yeah, so what it looks like here is this is like a temporary push down and then a possible shift back up. So unless this creates a big range. So for example, here we had the range, price came down a little bit, range, price. So basically over the Asia session, price moves and then it just ranges during New York session. And then we might get a nice bullish push at some point. Right. So back at it, there's not really too much going on here. Price is back at the middle point of the range. So if you go back over here to the, I mean, you can't see it here as clearly, but on my main chart, you guys can see here that price is pretty much back into the range. So I have this big range that's marked up. I got a big range, then I have a smaller range within this middle area. The big range is between this area here. And you can see that price is back within this range. So we got price pushing back up. We had that invalid sell signal. Okay, if price pushes back above this area, this is great because we can look for that possible MPSV2 to the upside. This is ideally what I was looking for anyways. All right, so we got price kind of just sitting here now in this upper range area. Shivam is asking, the ATR is based off 14 candles, right? Yeah. I've moved it back to 14 a while back. Yeah, Talanji said, what an evil fake out for the amateurs. I know, right here. I'm sure a lot of people are starting to chase this sell back down. And then it swung right back up. Or the opposite direction too, where people chasing the buys swing back down. All right, not much going on here. Yeah, as Zeke said, everyone has the same issue, lack of discipline. Yeah, I mean, that's really the key thing, guys. You know, the thing with trading, and I've mentioned this to you guys a million times, it's not really being able to identify winners. It's really identifying when to stay out of the market, right? Because the thing with trading, it's all about risk management, guys. And risk management can mean a lot of things, right? Risk management could be meaning a wider RR. It could be meaning a higher win rate. It could be meaning, you know, avoiding unnecessary losses. Like risk, people always like they throw around the term risk management um, for everything, right? People always say that risk management is everything, but they never tell you exactly what do they mean by that. For me personally, I like doing a 1-to-1 RR because I like having a high win rate. So my risk management is having a 1 RR and then having a higher win rate and avoiding bad trades. So consistency, right? Like every time you guys set up your trading plan, you have to set up what type of risk management you want, whether it's like something like a 1R, 2R, 3R. If you want something with a 50%, like there's a balancing chart there. I'm like, here, I'll just put it right here. Uh, Options. So like risk management options is you can do high win rate, tighter or lower RR. You can do low win rate, higher RR. And this is like typically this is kind of like where you would want to be, or like for example, you could have moderate win rate, moderate RR. It's like these are really the three main options you can have. Um, For us, we have basically moderate. I think this is what it is for us. We have a moderate, but we're a little bit on the higher win rate side. So we're like more of a higher win rate, moderate RR, because we're doing 1-to-1. If you want to do like a 1-to-2 or 1-to-3, you'll probably have a lower win rate, but you'll have a higher RR. The opposite, some people do trade negative risk reward. We've traded negative risk reward in the past where we have like basically we do a 1-to-2 or a 3-to-1 basically risk reward, and we'd have a higher win rate. Like my win rate right now is currently around like 80%. It's like 75 to 80%. So this is kind of where we're at with the 1-to-1. Years in the past, we've had, maybe like a 90 to 95% win rate, but then our R was like negative. So we have to double our wins to, and that's why it makes sense. But yeah, basically, if you're looking at risk management options, these are like really the three options you have. You're either going to lose a lot and you have bigger winners. You're going to basically lose and win an equal amount, but then you have equal amount of profits where as long as you're above 50%, you'll be profitable. Or right here, if you want to do a negative RR, you can do something with a higher win rate, but go for smaller points like 10 or I've seen people who go for like 5 or 10 points, which it works, but it's not for everyone because when you do take those losses, it's going to hurt. So you just got to figure out which one works for you, right? Do you like to win a lot? Are you okay with losing a lot? Do you need to see those big winners? Are you okay with seeing normal winners? For me, since I'm trading multiple accounts, it's easier for me to just trade moderately versus and the thing is you got to stick to your trading plan. If you choose a trading plan in your risk management, you got to stick to that. You can't be like 1 week you're doing a low RR and then next week you're doing a high RR, because if you do that, then you're not going to find consistency. Yeah, it's Solange said most traders don't even get that far because they hate losing and risk it all. Nobody has a 100% win rate for long. Yeah, exactly, Talanji. And that's why for me, I'm being a little more conservative. Yeah, Talanji said that's one of my biggest problems. I think that's the biggest problem for a lot of people, right? You can have a good week or you can have a good day or you can have a good couple days, but staying consistent for like, a month's time, if not a couple months, it's really hard. Like this month, for example, right? If you look at my stats for the year so far, and again, there's no entries right now, guys. So you guys are not missing out on any trades here. Price is just going back and forth between this range. But if you look at my stats here, so May hasn't been a super good month, right? It's been an okay month. April was not a good month for us. We're kind of going through a small rut right now, and I'm showing you guys this as transparency so that you guys don't think that you have to be 100% all the time. It's not really possible. Before that, March, we had a crazy good month, right? We had so many wins here, not many losses at all. I was up about 238,000. So like you can see here that there's a progression. January was a little bit of a slow month, made 75,000. February made 94,000. It got a little better because market started to pick up. March, we had an amazing month here. And then April, we had the tariff news that came out. So this threw everybody off, not just us, but everybody, right? So with this happening in April, this kind of threw us off a little bit. And then now for May, we're kind of at like break even. But if you look at the bigger picture here, I'm still in profit, right? I'm net profit 337,000, gross profit 408,000. You can see here my chart. This just shows you that like there's going to be rough parts in the year. It's not always going to be great. Like January here was okay, February was okay, March was great, May was kind of choppy, and then or April and May are kind of choppy, but June could just be another great month for us. So that's just, it's the long game. It's a long game with trading here. It's like being conservative and waiting for these opportunities to really come to you. So, all right, we have a possible opportunity here for MPSV2, guys. We have a buy signal, prices pushing up. We don't have any confluences up here from the upside. We do have a confluence there on the 1 minute clean chart, confluence here on the support and resistance. We have bottom rejections. So this could be a possible decent, MPSV2 if it comes up. So let's see if this here will play through. Nice. So Sam's been looking for a gold entry for about 3 hours now. See if that plays through for you. So we have a possible MPS setting up right here, guys. I'm gonna look at the price action. The ATR is currently at 25. So I'll be looking for retracement and then continuation from there. All right, so we got price breaking past that area of liquidity. Okay, cool. So I'm looking for the retracement here. So basically a push up, retracement, and I'm looking for the continuation back up. So I'm looking for this pattern here. The push up. So this is a good sign. So we have a V1 that started from right here. We have also another V1 from right here. So this is indicating that this is establishing a floor and starting to push up higher from this point. So I'll be looking for a possible MPS V2 here. 30-30 might be a little too high or too far out. But I'll go in with the 30-30, maybe make some adjustments if necessary. All right, so I would only take this if it closes above the liquidity here. So I need that green candle to close above here. Because if it closes below the liquidity line right there, I think it's probably just going to range and consolidate around this area. We got 30 seconds left on this candle. Again, if you guys want to take this, feel free. Again, like I said, I want this to close above this liquidity right here. If it doesn't close above the liquidity, it's probably going to range and consolidate around this lower area for a bit. There would have to be a green candle here as well. I don't like the price action on this candle. Yeah, the price action is not good on this candle. We have about 3 seconds and it barely closed. So if anybody's looking to take that, this is currently running right now. I've marked it up for you guys, but the price action on this candle was horrible. It closed green, but like literally the last second. And like what Christian mentioned, there's also a session that's way up there. So this here is an MPS V2. It also lines up with a A++. The only problem again here that I mentioned is, this candle barely pushed up at the last second. So it's not exactly the ideal setup there. If you guys want to take it though, feel free. I've marked it up for you guys. We'll follow it. Yeah, this thing hasn't moved at all. Let's see, it's 7:24 right now. We still got time, so it's not overall, we still have time right now to look for more opportunities if necessary. So it's still pushing up right there. I mean, it's taking some time, but it is pushing up right there. All right, so we're just getting a lot of this back and forth movement. This is kind of like what I didn't want to end up in because I didn't want to be stuck in this trade kind of running for like 10 minutes. I mean, we'll keep following it. The trade doesn't necessarily look bad. It's just really, really slow. Yeah, Steven said I'm not in this trade, so it's probably gonna hit. Steven, the good luck charm. I'm just gonna take this off again. I don't want you guys to think I'm in the position, because I know some of you guys are kind of just hopping in or stepping back in from stepping away. I don't want you guys to think that I'm in the position right there. That was an MPSV2. The reason why I didn't take this trade here is because this candle over here, it ended up closing green at the very last second. So it was kind of going back and forth. And then at literally the last second, it closed green. Another thing about this is that the price action here was just too slow. Like the candle just wasn't really moving very much. And also Sam over here said he skipped it due to liquidity sweep. That was one thing too. That's why for me personally, I was looking for it to break and close above this liquidity line. Because if it did, I would have been okay taking it because then it would just justify that it was a fake out, right? Basically a push up, a fake out liquidity sweep, and then continuation to the upside. Because if we had that there and it closed above it right here, then it probably would have climbed up, retested, and pushed up higher from that point. But we just didn't have that there, so it's fine. Let's see. Aziz's asking, do you have a different platform? Yeah, everyone's on the Zoom. Everyone is on the Zoom chat. Yeah, Solange over here also mentioned divergence fake out potentially. And Christian said again, thank God we dodged that bullet. Yeah, that's why I've been marking up these liquidity lines. Typically, I don't mark up these areas of liquidity, but they've been like, they've been useful for us, especially during these choppy markets. In these sideways ranging choppy markets, these liquidity zones, they're useful because we can use them to identify possibly, liquidity sweeps that may be happening. That's why for me, I like when price breaks past it, not necessarily rejects off it, because when it rejects off it, it's possibly a liquidity sweep. This kind of goes hand in hand with what we used to apply before. If you guys remember the high-low scalp, high-low scalp was one of our main strategies back. I mean, it's been a pretty long time, but that was one of our main strategies that we would apply. I think there was a high-low scalp that probably came up over here as well. But basically, we're looking for price to break and close past these structures, which will confirm whether they're liquidity sweeps or they are fake outs. So it's all good. So looking back at the charts here again, guys, we're back into the range. So like I said earlier this morning, and I've said pretty much every day this week, price tends to fake out outside the range. It'll push out of the range like it did right here and right here, and then it just pulls right back into the range. Same thing, price pushes up, pulls right back into the range. And this is kind of where price has been sitting. I mean, it's been doing this every day this week. Um, Over here on the market profile, looks like price is pulling back into this below the value high. I mean, it's pushed a lot, and it's pulled back right back down. So if it closes below this area or breaks and retests from this point, I would be expecting to push back down to the point of control down here. Let's see, Barack, I remember those high momentum days when we used to take triple confluences. They had almost 90 to 95% win probability. Markets change a lot. Yeah, exactly. I think the triple confluence still hits pretty nice. It rarely comes up if ever. Like I haven't seen any triple confluences here in a while. Yeah, it's Longy said triple confluence still the best. Yeah. It doesn't happen very often, but when it does happen, it usually hits pretty nicely. Yeah, I just haven't seen any here. I mean, it's all right. This is just the type of market that we're in right now, guys. Like I said, there's no need to change your strategy if it's only been like a week or a couple weeks with this type of market, right? Because like I said, we're currently in a ranging, consolidating market. I do expect a trending market to happen soon. The reason why I keep saying that is because there's so many news events that are happening around the world, right? We have tariff stuff that's starting to drop. Um, I mean, there's just a lot of stuff here. There's a lot of stuff. The news with the so let's read this real quick. So Fed Powell cautions about higher long-term rates as supply shocks provide policy change. So like Powell spoke this morning around 6:30 before market opened up. He kind of just made his remarks here. The thing with Powell is that he's very realistic, right? So like he mentioned here, to avoid another financial crisis, he has to make these changes here where, there's going to be pros and cons to things. He's not like Trump where he says everything's going to be great because that's not realistic. But yeah, with that said, we might have a continuation to the downside for a little bit and then a correction back up at some point. The easiest way to really look at this is to pull up the higher time frames, right? If you pull up the daily and just turn on the pivots here, you can see here that the market is attempting to come back up, right? This is the daily time frame. So you see here price was coming down and then it's starting to set up for a bull run, which I'm expecting to happen like sometime in the summer, right? So it's just a matter of time, guys. You just have to be patient. When we have that bullish run or that bearish run, it'll be easier for these MPSV2s to be taken. But during a market like this, it's really just being consistent with your trading plan. All right, we're back into the range. Price is pulling back down below, possibly going to try to reach the opening price. Let's see if there's any structure here. It's within the point of control zone right here. So this could be a possible, I mean, this could be maybe another sweep. There's also an MPSV2 here for a sell, but it was right at the red flag. So you guys can see here, there's a lot of entries that are coming up. There's a sell signal, retracement, confirmation right there. And it just hit, but it was at the sessions again. So not exactly the entry that I'd be looking to take. The ETR was at 20, so I guess you could have went for 20 points there. Either way, if you went for 20 or 30, it still would have hit. So this is a good sign. This is a good sign showing you that the strategies are still working perfectly fine. The only problem here is that we have red flags. So like I mentioned before, guys, if you do want to take entries and you're okay with the red flags, take them within the range. So I would take them when they're moving within the range here. Like for example, we had an MPSV2 that came up right here, right? And it happened within the range. Same with this one over here. We had an MPSV2 that happened over here, but it was within the range and it hit full TP. If you get MPSV2s that happened out here, I think these are a lot more risky than the ones that are happening within the range here. So, I mean, if anything, this could be a sweep right here. Possible sweep off the Asia low or Asia high, and then a possible push back up. Nice. Yeah, so Sam caught that MPSV2 for a sell, and he is done for the day. Nice work, Sam. Yeah, solid work right there. You see your messages, Shivam. I just saw your messages over here. Oh, okay, gotcha. So you basically have to add it on, log in, and then log out. Cool. It's a nice little workaround, Shivam. I think that would only work. Are you using multiple charts though, or are you using just one? Because I'm using multiple charts here, so I don't think it would work. Are you using multiple charts too? Okay, so maybe I'll try to give that a shot. The thing is, I'm already paying for it, so like I'd have to like time it for when it expires. Yeah, so I guess I would just have to time it for a day when it expires. I'll try that out. I'll see when my expiration date is because if I cancel right now, it's not going to stop it immediately. It's going to stop it on the day that it's supposed to expire. The problem is if I do that, we might have like an issue at the live session, but I'm okay with it for now. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, we got a possible buy signal right here. Vault ATR is at 20 though, guys. It's tricky. It is tricky. Shivam said, Sean, can you show your sessions again? Yeah, sure. Here are my settings for my sessions right here. The only one that I change is the London session one. Everything else is like, I think default. So I just changed this one to 2 and this one to 11. That was like for daylight savings, but I think we're in daylight savings right now here in the US. Yeah, spring forward, fall backward. So in the spring we move it forward. All right, we have a possible buy signal right here, guys. The only problem here now, I mean, we keep running into these issues. It's either ATR is too low or we're at red flags. There's a red flag here too, though. So we have a buy signal. Price is pushing up. We're going to look for possible retracement, continuation up to the upside. If you guys want to take this, again, I'll mark it up for you guys. It kind of depends on how the price action is looking for these candles. Yeah, I don't really see too much of a sweep here. The sweep was at like 975. Yeah. So what I'm looking at for here, guys, is what I've been noticing is if the I'm following the 30-minute time frame over here. The sweeps line up with the levels here. So what I've been looking at is I'm looking at the value high, I'm looking at the point of control, and I'm looking at the value low. If price reaches certain areas like the value high, like for example, right here, it's at 4,200, and I have some sort of structure there, like a session, or I have a liquidity zone. At those points, I tend to see a sweep happening. Not always, but it does happen sometimes. Yeah, no problem, Shabal. Barack said he's looking for an MPS V2 cell continuation. Yeah, probably not, bro. Looks like it's trying to push up. So the problem with this here again is we have the sessions that's right there. And then on top of that, we're going to be outside of the range. So like I said, trades outside the range here are tricky, guys. I think trades that are happening outside this area are trades that you want to be careful of. Trades within the range here actually, they're a lot safer than they are out here because price tends to pull back into the range anyways. Um, Here, I'm going to check the market yesterday again to see if the volatility picked up at all after our live session. I don't think it did, but let's go to 9 o'clock. No, the ATR is actually really low. So after our live sessions, the ATR doesn't get any better. Yeah, it goes like below 15. It's like 12 ATR over here, 10 o'clock. Picks up a little bit during power hour though. Not a lot, but it picks up a little bit. No, it's still low. It's below 15. Okay, so I was just trying to see if like the market is just dead right here earlier in the session, but it's actually this is the most volatility in the earlier session. So the volatility is pretty decent between 6:30 and 8, and then after 8 o'clock, the volatility is pretty much flat. All right, so there's still no MPS V2 here. We have a possible sell signal, which is pending. 742 right now is really hoping I get at least one entry today, but it's just not really looking like it. All right, we got price. So this is an MPS V2 that's currently running. I didn't even realize that this thing spiked up so big. So this candle spiked up at the last second. This is an MPS V2. It's at the session. So like I said, this isn't really the best area to be looking to take entries. Um, I mean, yeah, it's a tricky area to be trading in, guys, right here. I don't really want to trade outside the range. If you're going to trade outside the range, you want it to close past it. Right here, it's kind of just sitting right there. Sam said it's sweeping both sides, bad for trading. I'm done, but was waiting for 41,960 area for buy response. Yeah, I mean, same here. I was looking for the same thing with you. I was looking for price to break above this area, but you can see it's like you said, it's sweeping in both on both sides. The sweeps aren't even very stronger, right? They're not very strong. They're kind of just like they're rejecting off those points, and they're kind of just ranging and consolidating within the structures that I have here. What I would like to see is if I see a sweep at like one of these bigger numbers, right? So like, for example, right here, 42,000. If I get a sweep around that area, basically the session's right here, then in a situation like that, then okay, I feel a little more comfortable looking for something that's there. We're just not really getting that. I mean, the sweep did kind of happen right here. If you wanted to enter at the sessions, right? That could have been a sweep to the upside. Shivam said he thinks he's done for the day. I know I don't think I'm gonna get anything here, guys. It's 7:45. We have about 15 minutes till 8. Just not really expecting much to happen here right now. Oh, you're looking for a sweep down here, 41,960. Yeah, my bad. I was looking up here. Yeah, he was looking. So Sam was looking for a sweep down here, 41,960. If I was to see another sweep, it'd probably happen around here for me personally, because I'm just lining it up with 4,200. But yours over here does make sense because that's where the point of control is. That's where I saw the initial sweep. So see right here where price came down to this point. The point of control is at 41,974, and I had my sessions over here at 41,979. So right here is basically the sweep. This lined up literally exactly with the my point of control right here. The thing with the point of control zone is that it's kind of big, right? It's like within this whole area right here. So the sweep could really happen within that, anywhere within that range. All right, so again, right here, if price pulls back below, if it pulls to this area, I'd probably see some sort of sweep happen here and pull back into the range. So not really too much here to work with. If you guys have any questions, guys, feel free to hop into the chat. Unfortunately, this is just one of those weeks where there's just one of those weeks where we just don't have many opportunities here to take anything. We got price pushing back up. The sweep didn't actually happen. We got a sell signal, now a buy signal. There's like nothing to work with here, guys. If you guys can see here, it's pretty much respecting the range that I drew. So I drew this range before market even opened up. So I drew this before 6:30, and you can see here that price has been respecting it. Everything outside has been a fake out, basically. Um, you can see the fake out happen here, fake out happen here, fake out happen down here. If I could get a trade within this middle area, then, perfect. I'd love to take a trade right here down the middle, but there's just not enough space. This range isn't wide enough for me to take anything here. It's about a 40, 50 point range. Price would have to come down pretty low and then push up from here, right? For that to work, or the opposite way, push up from here and then come down from here. It just wouldn't work out. So it's all good. Yeah, definitely, Steven. I'll read your messages in a few. All right, nothing going on, guys. As you guys can see here, it's back into that same range that we just talked about. Here we go as we sit in this range. All right, guys, I think this might be it for me today. If you guys have any questions, feel free to hop into the chat. You guys can see there's like literally nothing happening here. I don't want you guys to get any FOMO getting into any positions here. I feel like this is a time where a lot of people will start to get FOMO because price keeps going back and forth. And what I can see people trying to do here or think of doing is maybe cashing the bounces off this upper range or this lower range, right? The only problem here is that as soon as you take that trade, it's going to blast right through it, right? I've seen this happen so many times. People try to take a sell here and they're like, oh, I'm going to keep my stop loss tight. I'm going to ride it back into the range. And then, yeah, you might get lucky on like one or two of these. And then the next time when you take it, it's just going to blast right through and hit you. Or the first time you take it, it might just go through and stop you out there. I wouldn't trade from range to range, guys. I don't think it's a good idea unless you have some sort of bias. So for example, here the trend is bullish. If you look over here, trend is bullish on the 4 hour, it's bearish on the 1 hour, bearish on the 30, neutral on the 1, bullish on the 5, bullish on the 10. So looking at this here, this might indicate like, okay, maybe take some trades in that direction here. But the problem with that is that price isn't really bouncing off this lower range here. It's really trying to get past this area and break above it. So yeah, again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to hop into the chat right now. Otherwise, I'm going to be wrapping this up pretty soon. It's 7:52. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get any entries today, but here are the entries that we identified for the day. We had an MPS V2 here for a sell. It ended up being at the session, so that was a red flag. Could not take that trade. With this one right here as well, there's a buy entry here for MPS V2. It was also at the sessions, which was the Asia high, so I didn't take that trade. Also, the breakout for today hit full TP right here, immediately on the first opening candle. So basically 3 wins today. This is good because it shows you that the strategies are still working. It's just that we're playing things a little more cautious. We're just following my rules in general because of the current market conditions that we're currently in. So I'm still sticking to avoiding trades at the red flags. The problem is that price isn't really moving. So when it does get to the red flags, it kind of just stays there. So like, for example, this one, both these entries happened at the Asia high, which were perfect entries. There's like almost no drawdown for both of the entries. So for those of you that did hit those trades, nice work. If you guys didn't take any trades, I mean, that's completely fine. We'll, we'll run this back tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow will be a little better. Tomorrow is Friday, so let me check the news real quick. Tomorrow we have import, export prices, building permits, housing starts, building permits, housing starts month over month for April, and then also Michigan consumer sentiment. So we have some pre-market news here, a lot of pre-market news. And then we have one big news at 7 o'clock, which is Michigan consumer sentiment. It's basically inflation news. The inflation news this week has been pretty decently good. Let me check. So the inflation CPI news it was actually negative. So it was negative on Tuesday for CPI. And then today's PPI news was it was also negative. So the news for tomorrow will probably be negative as well. The Michigan consumer sentiment. They're forecasting it to be positive, but I think it'll probably be negative. So, all right, guys. Again, like I said, price is stuck within this range. It's not really a good area to be trading in, so there's no need to really force anything here. If you guys have any questions, feel free to hit me up on Discord. Otherwise, this was an okay trading day. It was just okay. It wasn't good. It wasn't bad. I mean, it wasn't bad, of course, because all the trades here hit. It just wasn't good because we weren't able to take these trades, or I wasn't at least, because of the red flags. So I'm glad to see the trades and the entries here are still hitting. It's just still being conservative and trading along my trading rules. So, all right, guys, I think that's it. If you guys have any questions, feel free to hit me up on Discord. Otherwise, I'll see you guys here tomorrow morning, same place, same time, as we wrap up this trading week for Friday. So, all right, guys, have a great rest of your day, and I will see you guys back here tomorrow for the next live session.